It's Quick Hits. Welcome to our program today. My name is Nick Richards. I am the co-chair and partner at Greenspoon Marder, who sponsors this nice webinar. And, we try to deliver you, cutting edge information in the cannabis space. I'm a tax attorney, but we go real broad, way outside of that kind of stuff, and try to bring in people that have real offerings that can improve cannabis companies today. Look, guys, it's been a long road, right? And along this road, it's been very frustrating for cannabis companies because they have a real lack of access to the kind of things that companies enjoy in the United States. Things like retirement plans and insurance and banking and all this stuff. And you know that you've heard the rumors, right? They're true. And as we're moving closer and closer to rescheduling, and I'm going to knock on wood as I'm saying that, because we're really hoping that keeps going. We're starting to get more and more of the sort of bedrock providers for the corporate America that are showing up and providing services in the cannabis space. And today we have one of those providers. TRG Advisors is a registered investment advisor. They do retirement plans and stuff like that for employees. They're really good at what they do. And today I have two great guys, Jonathan and Peter Duggan. Are going to tell us about what they can do for cannabis companies as far as providing for their employees and making way for the next generation, right? Getting there, and helping people retire. John, I'm ready to retire, man. Can you help me do that? What tell me about TRG Advisors? What's TRG Advisors all about? Why is this so special?
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Nick. Really appreciate you having us on. I cannot guarantee you retirement, right? That would really pose a problem for us with the SEC. But it's having a 401k plan is a huge part of retirement for employees. Hopefully, a tax benefit to cannabis employers, right? At some point. But TRG Advisors, we've been working with retirement plans, all over the country for close to 30 years now. It's what we specialize in, right? We're registered investment advisors. But our real focus is on 401k plans. So how do we set up the 401k plan structurally? How do we build one that makes sense for each unique employer? And while we've been doing this for a long time, we haven't really been able to do this in the cannabis sector, right? For the banking regulations and just custody of assets. So what's unique and what's new now is this past year, towards the end of 2023, we worked with a company, American Trust, that has actually built a retirement plan specifically for cannabis-related companies. So the structure is unique. It's part of a pooled employer plan. So it's one master 401k plan that any company in the cannabis sector can adopt and join this larger plan. And we've really seen it take off just over the last few months. So some cannabis companies did not have access to it, or they started a 401k plan but didn't advertise that they were in the cannabis space, right? So they just started a plan, and then many got kicked out of that, also last year. So this is really one of the only solutions in the market that is eligible to accept cannabis-related companies. So we're pretty excited about it. The structure is unique. We can go into a little more of that later on if you want. But we're really excited to be able to offer this not only to the companies, but to the employees, right? Because that's what the plan's for. How do you make your employees have a successful retirement, and not work until they're 90 years old?
Right. Yeah, and it's been such a struggle for cannabis companies. It's we see the light at the end of the tunnel, and more and more of them are going to be able to start providing those kind of services. So it's great that you guys are out doing this. So, tell me what is a pooled investment fund? Is that? You said that any company can be part of that. Is that cannabis only? Is that limited to just cannabis companies? Is that part of the magic here? Is that it's a cannabis specific pool? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so a pooled employer plan, I'll use the acronym PEP, but they were established in 2019, part of the Secure Act, where it made these eligible. The premise is to allow smaller companies that don't have access to larger retirement plan offerings or don't have a staff, right, to manage the retirement plan. The pooled employer plan just makes it very simple. Built in all the guardrails, all the regulatory requirements, the ERISA requirements, all of it's built in. So an employer just needs to adopt a pooled employer plan to become part of it. And then they have access to what a larger company would have if they went directly to Fidelity with hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's created to make it simple, primarily for companies that don't have the resources to operate a 401k plan, keep up with all the legislation. This PEP is unique. So there's pooled employer plans for all different sectors. This PEP, the NACC PEP, is unique because there are restrictions, right, on cannabis companies starting a 401k plan. So the way it's unique is you join the NACC, North American Companies Council, which is a non-for-profit only around to service cannabis companies. So the PEP is sponsored by the NACC. So a company, cannabis company that joins the NACC, there's other benefits like doing FinCEN checks and OFAC, and they have other providers they've negotiated with, from payroll to HR to insurance. So you join this NACC, and then you have access to the NACC pooled employer plan. So it's a little unique. This is really only for cannabis companies. Well, I guess others could join. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it's built specifically for companies in the cannabis industry. So it makes it easy to operate, has all sorts of guardrails, so you don't worry about the regulatory issues, operating plan appropriately. And then, you know, what Peter focuses on too is then how do we distill that down to the employees and convey that benefit to the employees? Because oftentimes we'll create great retirement plans, but if there's no awareness, it's not utilized, then we really built this plan for nothing. So, you know, the main part is joining the PEP, right, for the company, makes it easy and simple. And how do we make that work for the employees as well as the second part?
And does the employer have to elect for the 401k plan for the employees then to be able to do it, or can any employee just go and if they belong to the NACC, if the company belongs to the NACC, can an employee just go do it, or is that has to happen first, right? The 401k has to be set by the employer, yeah. So so employees don't know they have 401ks. Is that what's going on? Peter, talk to me about that. What are the employer concerns versus the employee concerns? I mean, obviously this benefits both, right? I mean, if you have a good retirement plan for your employees, you're going to get good employees that are going to want to stick around, right? Talk about that.
Yeah. So as Jonathan mentioned earlier, right, we're going to be the main point of contact for the employers and the investment committee. And the job is helping create all that. But then the other side that we do is going to be like financial wellness and education programs. In addition to that, we'll be able to provide one-on-one investment advice to the employees. A lot of times this is myself and Jonathan's favorite aspect about what we do. And we find it particularly important for the younger employees. So a lot of times this is going to be the first time they've invested. It's going to be maybe the first time they've been eligible for a 401k plan. So when we meet with them, outside of the wellness programs, we're meeting one-on-one, we can truly allow them to understand the benefits and like the why and ports behind what we're trying to achieve. And not only that, it'll give them some, you know, security and comfortability with the decisions made for their investments and their 401k. So once it'll also help them, but it'll also help the plan, because as they continue to participate, especially the younger employees, that's just going to increase participation, which is going to increase the benefit of the plan as a whole.
What's the hot thing right now? What are we investing in, Peter? You got any hot tips for us? I don't know, something specific with the new administration coming in, some change of thought there, anything? Is that starting to emerge yet, or do we not know kind of those things yet?
Well, I mean, as I was actually just reading an article that you brought up, but it's going over the actual 401k space and the growth that they've seen. And it was interesting, in the 1990s, the total assets under management in a 401k plan was 323 billion. And as of the end of 2023, total assets in the 401k plans are 7.4 trillion. So you can kind of see the growth that's happened, and every year there's new funds that come out. I know the one that Jonathan and I love in particular is the New Prospectus Fund. But the nice part about what we do here is we can completely customize as you meet with the the investment committee and the plan sponsors. you can completely customize all these investments to fit, their actual goals and what they want to achieve, which is going to be vastly different based on, company to company. And that's, something that Jonathan's an expert on and something that we love to do. So we can really customize this plan to fit every need and all the desires that they're trying to achieve for themselves and for the employees.
People, I don't have a Peter. There's no Peter. It's a computer, right? You pick some fund. It goes, okay, well, when do you want to retire? And you go, I want to retire today. And it goes, well, that's not possible. And then you pick that year, and then it tells you, well, this is the right fund. This is great. I would love to have a Peter.
And it's beneficial not only for, like I mentioned, the younger employees, but it's also great to help out every employee, because as you start to near your retirement, right, you may feel comfortable like, hey, I'm growing, it's doing great, right? But a lot of times you want to figure out, when do you actually want to retire? And we can help figure out, do you have to rebalance your funds? Is it going to be in 5 years? Are you going to be where you want to be? Or what could we do to get you there? Do we scale up, pull back? So it really benefits all of the employees. And we encourage all of the ones we work with to opt into meeting with us, because we love doing it and it's extremely beneficial for everyone involved.
That's amazing. Jonathan, give us the last word here.
Yeah, I think it's exciting. Peter and I have been talking about this for months and months, right? It's a new area, and we're talking to an industry that most companies didn't have access to this, and we're obviously passionate about it, right? There's no, who knows what's happening, so scary, very few pensions anymore. So while it's great to have this 401k tax deferral, right, it's on all employees to do what's right. And most people don't have the financial education and knowledge or time to do it. So the fact that we're kind of the front edge and we're able to impact this industry and help all these employees have that positive retirement outcome is really exciting for us. We do make ourselves available to every employee. I can tell you, of our 50 plus clients in the 401k space, very few take us up on it, but it builds over time, right? So we're always available. And it just grows, it builds. So one employee talks to another and says, hey, I talked to Peter and Jonathan, I got this investment advice. Now I feel more comfortable at retirement. Then somebody else calls. So it takes some time, but over the years, we've been very successful in just helping companies stay protected, right? That first part, make sure they have the right appropriate plan in place so they're not going to get in any trouble, and then help the employees. And it's just exciting for us to be able to do it in a sector that has been, frankly, dramatically underserved in this area. Forever, really.
I want to say thank you for what you guys are doing. A lot of people could really use your help, and I'm sure you're going to be great to work with, and a lot to go, right? Industry's just getting started, so it's really exciting to be on the front end of this and to be able to talk to guys like you. Jonathan, Peter, tell us how we can get a hold of you.
So we'll get a hold of us, website, trgadvisory.com. Right on the website, there's a contact us link, goes to our bookings page. You can just schedule a meeting. Our calendar is always up to date. So that's the easiest way to schedule time. We can just talk through and see if it makes sense, for a company, trusted consultant, right, that works at the cannabis company. TRGadvisory.com. Go from there.
Guys, that was your quick hit. I am Nick Richards. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Greenspoon Marder. Sit down, enjoy that quick hit. Take a moment. It's good. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.